Thank you for coming.
God bless you. The government and people of Cuba have for a very long time been excellent allies of the people of the Caribbean region, the Caribbean in particular, and in fact St. Kitts and Nevis at the same level. We have enjoyed excellent relations between our two peoples and governments, and on the sad passing of former President Fidel Castro. It grieves all of us, and we certainly would want, in a very tangible way, to express our grief. Today I had the occasion, having traveled abroad and government business, to be back, and in keeping with that excellence of relationships which we have enjoyed with the government, to come and to pay my respect, my homage to a leader who served his people well, and who, in his own words, would be absolved by history for whatever may have been the inadequacies of the leadership. But we think overall, on balance, Castro led Cuba through tumultuous times, very difficult times, and the fact that he could survive to be one of the longest serving leaders anywhere is of itself a remarkable achievement. But what was most important was the way in which a country blockaded could have survived and move and mobilize itself, its people, its resources to take on an international image of a fighter, a deliverer, a contributor to mankind. And the excellent international cooperations which Cuba developed with countries under his watch, in education, in health, in almost every area of human endeavor, speaks volumes to the kind of leadership, the generosity of his spirit, and the fact that he had broad vision of people and a respect for humanity everywhere. So whether it was in Africa or in the Caribbean or elsewhere in Europe, the presence of Fidel was well felt. Where I was last, in Doha, the newspapers carried articles and stories about his passing, and so it tells you that he was an international personality of wide acclaim. His courage will always be remembered. He understood that life was a struggle, and struggle we must, down to the last man. I suspect that he would want the people of Cuba to continue on that path we're doing good to humanity, recognizing that inevitably we all would succumb one day, but that we must leave that inspiration that he has left for others to continue to fight and to struggle to the end. So I came again to extend to the government and people of the Republic of Cuba my personal sympathies, that of my cabinet, but more importantly, that of the wider community, society of St. Kitts and Nevis on this sad passing. And we are now in December, the date on which he would be buried. but we had established several years ago. At that time, I think I was the foreign minister, that we would be celebrating Cuba's Day in December of each year. That was to be a highlight of the recognition of what that relationship has meant. And so, while in the near future, the final rights would be paid to him, we will always remember Fidel, as he was fondly called, the great leader, what he stood for, not just on behalf of the people of Cuba, but of the people everywhere. South Africa during its difficult period of apartheid, and other countries in Africa, when they needed a friend on whom they could rely, it always was one singular leader on whom they could count on. It was Fidel Castro. So a remarkable man has passed, and we salute his contribution, and we extend our condolences, as is the tradition here, to all the people whom he has left them one. Again, Excellency, my condolences.
Thank you very much, Prime Minister. To express my appreciations for the Prime Minister, to tell him that despite that we have lost our leader, our contribution with the Caribbean, our contribution and cooperation with St. Kitts and Nevis will continue.